Traveling is good for many different reasons. Having new experiences, meeting new people with various life stories, getting out of your comfort zone, getting in touch with a new culture, getting to know different realities, seeing beautiful places, being in contact with nature. I could go on and on about the benefits of traveling. Those benefits are all about things that change or grow from the outside due to some external factor to the inside, changing something in yourselves. A new place, a new culture, external factor that causes us to learn more about the world and changes our perspective, internal change. Getting in touch with different realities, external factor that make us value more things we already have or make us rethink some other necessities, internal change. The changing scenario also has a huge potential to show us different parts of ourselves that might have been hidden or not. For me, in this particular trip, I have seen such a strong side of me, a side that has shown endurance, perseverance, and also acceptance. This trip was very physically challenging for me. Well, first of all, I am a very recently ex-sedentary. I work out like 3 times a week. There are some occasional climbing practices that I do. And I recently started doing yoga. So, I do some stuff. I do some exercising and everything, but I'm still building up my body. Hey guys, here we are in the Valley de las Animas. I'm a little bit out of air because I got here yesterday, and there you need to get some time before you really get used to the high altitude from here. So you know it's a little bit hard to breathe. We are doing this trail here so that we can see more of these beautiful stones. It's very beautiful formation here, as you can see. Second of all, I live in a city that is located only 500 meters above sea level. The region of Bolivia, where I was at, is located at least at 3,600 meters above sea level. The high altitude has some weird effects on our body. As the air is thinner in those conditions, it is harder to breathe, and the heart needs more pumping to distribute the same amount of oxygen throughout the body. That is, it starts to race too much with very little physical effort. In this trip, we did some hiking in high altitude along the days we were there. So yeah, it was challenging for me. The highest point of the trip was the day before the last one. At that point, I had already a broken toenail, I was on my most body weakening period. I had have a 39 degrees Celsius fever due to physical exhaustion, and I was in the third day of a bad diarrhea. Sorry guys, I had to tell you. This day, the one before the last one, was the most demanding day of the trip. We were going to hike up to the summit of a mountain nearby our camp. I woke up that day as well rested as it was possible, considering everything. Around 10 a.m., our group gathered to hear the instructions of the guide, and soon after they departed to the hike. I said they because when they started to move, I had a sudden urge to run to the toilet due to my intestinal issues that I mentioned before. Yeah, that happened. So I began my journey to the summit, a little behind of everyone and very slowly because I was super tired. My leg muscles were sore from all the trails that we have done. One of the guides, Luis, stayed behind to keep me company because no one of our group were left alone. After about 10 minutes, he came closer to me and he said that it would be very unlikely that we reached the summit at that pace that I was going. You know, we had a time limit because they needed to ensure that we were going to be able to do all the hike up, to reach the summit and to get back to the camp while the sun was still up. Otherwise, it could get dangerously cold and we weren't dressed appropriately. When I heard those words, I felt like crying. I got so frustrated with my body at that moment. It was really hurtful. But I hid my tears and kept walking. After a while, I kind of accepted this possibility that I wasn't going to reach the summit. Because, you know, I knew that my body was doing so much already and dealing with so much already, and there wasn't anything that I could do. You know, I was super tired. I knew that I couldn't walk any faster than I was doing already, so I just accepted. I mean, there was really nothing that I could do. So I kept walking and just kept walking step by step, curve by curve, with zero expectations. At some point, I wasn't alone anymore with the guide because one of the guys from our group, he decided to stay behind, to go a little bit more slowly, because he was feeling very exhausted that day. So the hike began from like one side of the mountain, like the front side of it, and we walked up until we like did a curve around it and climbed up from the back, the other half of the trail. So after a while we weren't able to see the rest of the group because they had already done this curve, so they were in the back side of the mountain and we were in the front side. Almost halfway through the last ascent of the front side of the mountain, almost reaching the curve, the other guy that was with me and the guide, he decided that was better for him to stop and get down to camp. The problem was we were two people with different destinations in mind. I mean, like, I wanted to keep going and he wanted to go back, but we only have one guide with us and we couldn't be alone without a guide. So I had no other choice. I needed to go back with them. And I was very sad about it. I mean, I understood. I could see how exhausted he was. I mean, he was in a pretty bad shape. But I felt a little sad because I could feel that I could keep going for many minutes and maybe a few hours. So it was a little bit frustrating. After he said that, he sat down on a rock to get some rest, and I looked around one last time at all the places that I could have gone and wasn't going to be possible, like a last goodbye look. And when I did that, I spotted two familiar faces. It was one of the girls of our group. She was feeling super dizzy due to the high altitude. And the other guide, we had 3 guides with us in total. One of the other guides was climbing down with her. It's funny though. It's curious how some things happen. I was sad and worried, of course, for my friends, because they weren't feeling very well, but I couldn't help feeling super excited and hopeful because I was giving another chance, That was magical. That felt like it was meant to be, and it gave me such a boost of energy to keep going. So I did. I kept going up. When I finally reached the turn, I was overwhelmed by the incredible view of the mountains. I felt so pleased with the view that getting there alone had made the hike totally worth it already. And not getting to the summit was even more acceptable to me. But I kept going. At that point, since I reached the beginning of the back of the mountain trail, I could see the rest of the group again. As they saw me from several meters higher, they screamed, celebrating that I got to the turn. It was such a powerful moment. It gave me an extra boost of energy so that I would keep going towards them. Me and Luis, we had made an agreement. He said that we could keep going up until the other group started to climb down. If that happened, we would start to climb down as well. So we kept going up until that happened. By my math, I had a little bit more than 1 hour to keep going before it started to be too late to get down in time. After a while, I started to feel so tired. I hadn't eaten much, and my legs and my knees were super sore. But at the same time, I knew I was getting closer. I mean, I could see where I needed to reach. It was like a mix of emotions. Almost 1 hour had gone by and the agreement changed. Luis said to me that it had become his mission to take me to the summit, no matter what, because we were pretty close, like 20 minutes close. I knew what time it was, and I could see how my pace was slow and how tired I was, even more tired than when I started the hike. When he said that, and I could believe that it was really possible to get there, and wow, that I felt so much power inside of me and so much energy, because I mean, I could get there. It was magical. A little after that, there was a beautiful spot on the top of a rock, and I went there so that Luis could take a picture of mine. And when I was up there, my friends from the other group, they had already reached the summit. And when I was there, they could see me again. And they saw me and started to cheer and celebrate that I was so close and that I was going to get there.
Comemora de novo pra eu gravar ela comemorando. Grita o nome dela aí.
And then once again, I felt this huge energy coming from them, from this cheering, and it was like super essential for me to actually keep going, because I was really feeling so tired. My legs and knees were super sore, and I had already dumped my 6-liter trekking backpack somewhere along the trail. But yes, I had this extra energy again, and I kept going. Once again, I kept going. And when I finally got there, I was received with hugs and celebration from my friends, and really, truly, it was so powerful and so emotional for me.
seguir, vai seguir.
To believe in something for so many hours and then prove me wrong was so satisfying. I proved myself wrong, not just by getting there, but by enduring all the discomforts of the trail and the tiredness and the challenges. I just kept going, you know, just kept going. And you know, the view was just amazing. We could see mountains all around us, you know, 360 degrees there were mountains. It was just incredible. And now I wonder how many more not yet discovered parts there are inside of us, just waiting for an opportunity to manifest. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I really hope that you can see that there are so much potential inside of you as well. I proved myself wrong and made me realize that I am capable of so much more than I usually think of myself. So believe in your potential. I mean, believe in yourself. You are so much more capable than you think. Thank you so much once again. I see you on the next video.